Hey everyone, welcome to Wednesday night OWCP Chats with Chris and Gini. And
I'm Gini.
I'm Chris. Before we start, we had a few little announcements. The first one is we wanted to wish our little nephew in Texas, Bryson
Wayne Helms,
a very happy double-digit 10th birthday
my boy's
today.
10.
So I'm sure you guys all saw those pictures on Chris's Facebook page, and I know a lot of you said happy birthday to him. That was really sweet. And if you want, you can go ahead and comment happy birthday, Bryson.
In fact, we're all friends and family here, so please everyone just take a moment and wish Bryson a happy 10th birthday. He's awesome. When he was born, he was practically 10 already. So
yeah. He was 10 already.
He's a big boy.
He's our only nephew, and Paisley, his sister's our only niece.
That's right.
So we love him to death. So before we begin, don't forget to share to your Facebook groups, to your personal pages. Yeah. We tell you every week, even your family and friends that are not federal employees, know one federal employee, especially your letter carriers. Your mailman, your mail lady.
And everyone needs help.
Everybody needs help. So you never know who's watching that can say, hey, you call these people for help. And what else? And we went to Atlanta this weekend to see
We had a lot of fun.
Our SAC, for the SAC convention. Mm-hmm. We got to meet a lot of presidents. We got to meet Mr. Ronnie Stutz. It was great to meet him finally in person.
Mark.
Our friend.
Natasha.
Yeah, all the state presidents.
Melissa.
We got to meet new presidents.
June. Yeah, it was a lot of fun. We had a blast.
So, we got confirmation that Mississippi, Missouri, Atlanta, and Tennessee will be inviting us for their conventions.
Yeah.
It's so funny that all these conventions are in June, so you will be seeing us hop from one state to the next just to do a convention.
But next year, spread them out.
Spread them out, guys. All you presidents, do them a different weekend or do them in the middle.
Look, we have other people that work with us and for us that are really good at this, but we have no intention of sending anybody else. This is what we do, and you trust us already, and so we want to be able to just have time to go everywhere that we're needed. And I want to say this: the other thing about Atlanta this past weekend, the most touching part for me is the hugs and the affectionate words and just the love. We really appreciate that. You should know that is definitely reciprocated. Nobody loves you as much as we do, and we really appreciate how we were received when we got there. It was really, really nice, and we won't forget that. Thank you.
We didn't go there to talk about federal injury centers.
Oh,
no. It just happened to be that there was a bunch of presidents there, and we got introduced to them, not by us, but everybody introduced us.
And some of them were seeking us out.
Yeah.
It's so funny. We're in a crowd of, I don't even know. How many people were in that initial?
I think 500, they said.
It felt like 5,000. There's a point where you don't know how many it is anymore. But people just walking by, smiling and waving. And, hey, we really appreciate it. The next time you see us any place, don't smile and wave and keep walking. Stop and say hi. We love meeting you. And it's really just a gift to us to be able to have so many friends out there in the federal world. So next time, stop and say hi.
So I don't know what's going on with my Facebook to share. So it's not letting me share today. So a lot of you won't be seeing this. So I need you guys in all of the Facebook groups, from AFGE to NALC, the rural carriers, the mail handlers, to please post this video, and also APWU, to please post the video. I don't know what Facebook is. It's not blocking me. It just doesn't allow me for some reason. It was happening yesterday as well. So if you can, I would really appreciate you guys sharing it. I'm going to share it on my page, and hopefully a lot of you guys see it. I'm sure there's not going to be as many views because I'm not able to share it on all these Facebook carrier sites.
So hold on. With that said, so how many of the carrier sites have requested for us to share?
162.
162 carrier Facebook pages have requested that we share. So the first thing I'm going to say is, if you're one of those and you've seen our stuff, and like sometimes happens, you say, why are you here? talk to your administrator.
Yeah.
Okay, we're here because we were asked to be.
The admin, either the admin has requested us and I went ahead and accepted the invitation, or, I'll go ahead and add myself and they'll ask me who I am. I'm that girl, and all we do is educate federal employees from all agencies. Everything that we say, so you guys understand, doesn't apply to one union, one agency.
Yes,
We help all agencies. So with that said, we don't know your contracts in detail. Chris is getting there. He's starting to read them to make sure, what the laws and the rules are for each of the agencies. Yeah. But everything that we say doesn't apply to one. It applies to others and maybe not yours. So just make sure you speak to your stewards or speak to your union and they'll be able to help you. So just remember that.
So another way to put that is we know that every union contract is not created equal. So if we say something that sounds like, oh wow, I can't believe they're telling us to, example, we are aware because our friends here in Florida have said, one union wants to file grievances and another one doesn't necessarily, or they have a different way. We understand that. So sometimes we're going to say some things that are sort of generic statements. We rely on you to understand what's going on in your specific situation and know whether or not it applies. When I know it doesn't apply to you, I'll be sure to say, I think that's important. But you kind of went off the path of where I was going, because this is important too. 100, how many people ask us to share or pages?
162.
162 union or agency pages or whatever ask us to share. How many of them don't allow us to?
I mean, there are hundreds of different pages that I can't even get to. I mean, AFGE is being one of the largest, and for me to get to all of them, it's impossible. So when they reach out to us or when we meet you guys and are like, can you add us on your Facebook page, and then they'll do it.
How many have specifically disallowed us?
Well, I don't know at the current moment. Maybe currently right now, maybe about 4 or 5. Okay. No more.
Okay.
Yeah.
So 160 something have requested us, which we post. A handful have said, please don't post here. So if you're one of those and you see that, hey, why am I not seeing your stuff? Talk to your administrator. We, out of respect, are not going to barge ourselves in when we're asked to exit. But that happens. And so if you're seeing this and someone else shared it with you and you wonder why you're just seeing this and you're realizing how valuable the information is, but you don't seem to have access to it, ask that we have our stuff shared on your page and you share it yourself. We don't want to have even any idea out there that we're showing disrespect to any of the unions. Right. Or any of the administrators of any of the Facebook pages. However, it's in your interest and the interest of your friends and coworkers that you have access to this information. So if you want it and you're just seeing it and you think that's not fair and you wish you would have seen it already, or you're like the hundreds of people that have told us, gosh, I wish I would have known you 3 years ago when I had my injury, or 2 years ago, or a year ago when I was going through this trouble with my supervisor, and I didn't have this information then. I wish I would have. And I say, well, we were teaching it then. I don't want it to be you 3 years from now saying, gosh, 3 years ago, I wish I would have had it. So just ask somebody to request that we share on your page. We will, but we won't do it without your request. Yeah. And like we said, 160-something union pages have requested that we share the information. So it's getting around, and there's some proof in that. If we weren't doing the right thing, 160 whatever people or agency union pages wouldn't have requested it. So, enough on that. So let's move on.
So I shared it on my page. I added Chris on there. I shared it on our Federal Injury Center's page. We'd rather you guys come over to this page, the Wednesday Night Chats, to watch us, but I still put it on there because there's a few of you that still are on there, which is fine. Yeah. So tonight, the reason why I chose these 3 topics, and you guys saw that I wrote it, I get, no joke, like in a month, I must get about 500 to 600 calls. And so I can't get to all of them. And I have Derek in Massachusetts and Jennifer in Texas that I send a lot of my messages to so I could filter through all of them. And, Jennifer and Derek are great with answering your questions and have the same knowledge I know a lot of you guys are saying thank you to Jennifer for helping and Derek and stuff like that. That's great. That's what we want to hear.
Yeah, and when Derek and Jennifer call, take their calls.
Yeah.
Just because it's not me or her, take the calls because this is good for you.
Sometimes they might not say, and I explained this to them as well yesterday. When they call, let them know that Gini told me to call you, and I also told them to send you a text so you understand that you can get the same information that you get from me. And I know some of you specifically want to talk to Chris and I try to weed those out and help. But with that said, the reason we're going over these 3 things tonight: 1, what happens if you get a denied claim, what a CA-16 is and how to get it and when to get it, and when to turn in a CA-17. A lot of you know it and a lot of you don't, and it's okay because these people that I've called are all new. Some people didn't even know what a CA-16 was when I was telling them. So either if you don't catch us now and you catch the replay, pay attention and share this news with your coworkers, because this is the only way you guys are going to be able to protect yourself is by watching and getting educated by us. So with that said, we're going to talk about when you get a denial.
Yeah, I'm going to talk about that in a minute, but I have more to add.
Oh, okay.
So whether you share now, you shared already, or you're going to share after this, I'm expecting if you watch this, you're going to share this. What that means is you simply hit the share button and it goes to your Facebook page where all of your network of people on Facebook can see it. But what I want you to do is share it and just type in there, something to the effect of federal employees, you need to watch this so that they understand that this is for them. It's like a headline. A lot of people only read the headline. You know anybody like that?
Me.
Yeah. So, and won't read the rest or even click on it. So just share it and just tell your coworkers and friends, take a look at this. This is valuable for federal employees.
Yeah.
That'd be really, really helpful. Not to us, it's helpful to you and your friends and coworkers. So please do that. The other thing is, throughout this conversation and every conversation that you come to every week, I'm going to discuss rules, laws, and regulations. I'm usually not going to mention the specific law, rule, or regulation. Instead, I'm going to talk about it in general terms. For you to know what that is, you need to get on Twitter. My Twitter page is called @Fed Injury Center. @Fed Injury Center. I want you to go there and follow it simply so you can actually have the rule, the law, or the regulation that you need when your supervisor says something that's incorrect or just blatantly a lie. Which happens. And it happens often. We heard some really bad stories this week. And in fact, remember, it's @Fed Injury Center. These stories are real. We hear terrible things every week. And somebody says, what do I do? And I want to come through the phone and say, if you were on Twitter, you'd already know. And you would have already shown your supervisor, and you would have resolved this already. So it's there for your benefit, @Fed Injury Center. Tell your friends. Now, before we move further, there was a really terrible story you told me earlier.
Okay, yes.
Tell it.
So,
and we're not going to mention agencies or states or cities or names. But this happened.
This was a lady that called me, messaged me this morning. I'm not going to say, again, we're not saying the agency or state. Called me very, very scared and upset. She told me she had an issue with perfumes and the aerosols and stuff, and it was affecting her. She already had an injury before, and her postmaster was on her after that because she was put on her restrictions with the doctor that she saw. And then today she said she got a written warning or was told that she'll be getting something in the mail because she's getting threatened and he's going to fire her. Was it fire? What did I tell you?
So the supervisor is going to sue her.
Sue her, not fire her.
Yeah.
He's going to sue her.
Lawsuit.
For
making the complaint.
Making the complaint and calling me, and finding out what she needs to do, because I was telling her this is what you need to file if you feel like you have any respiratory issues at the job. And I was like, I told Chris, and I'm like, can they do that? And this is the answer.
Hell no. No, look.
This is ridiculous.
You can't sue the agency if you're hurt. Your remedy is OWCP. And by hurt, I mean you contract an illness, you're injured, or something develops over time, whatever. You can't sue the agency.
Nope.
Even if they're negligent, like you can take OWCP. But the agency can't sue you either. Look, OWCP says it's your, not OSHA, OWCP as well. OSHA says that one of your rights, it's number 6 on their list of 9, is to report work injuries. And OSHA stands for Safety and Health. They are there specifically to protect your safety and health. And they say it's your right to report injuries. And they say it is against the law to impede on your rights. So you think you can actually be sued by your agency, much less your weak supervisor, much less your top supervisor who has way less authority than they think when it comes to this. You cannot be sued. All right, you can't be sued. The worst thing that can happen to you is you file a false claim that you actually weren't affected at work,
right?
And you said you were, but even then you can't be sued. I mean, there's a remedy for that, and you don't want it, but you can't be sued. And so this person was basically threatened. What you did, including calling us for assistance, because you don't have it otherwise. I'm sorry, you don't. You just don't. Okay? This is as good as it gets. And so you're asking for help, and they want to sue you. No. You know what my dad says. You can want in one hand and something in the other. Okay? We'll see which one fills up.
My father-in-law's crazy.
Yeah.
So
you can't be sued.
Yeah.
But look, the point, and the reason we wanted to tell this story is that these are the horror stories I hear every day. You know, we heard this one, a manager wants to sue you. I heard one where a manager said it was in your interest because you're hurt. You better resign. You better just quit. We hear all the time that you're just going to be fired. There's going to be some disciplinary action against you. And this happens every day. So anyways, I could go on the entire hour on this. That's what I call taking supervisors behind the woodshed. And I don't care. Like, you may not like it. I've heard some people that say they don't like it, that I'm too hard on management. I really don't care. Because management's hard on you. And who else is going to have your back? If I don't, I will.
Yeah, so you have to understand, when we're educating you, we're not getting anything out of this. Zero.
Who's saying that?
No, I'm just letting them know.
Oh, yeah.
We're educating you because you guys are really getting screwed, and we genuinely care. Like,
Yeah.
You don't have a clue when we're sitting here on these conversations, and Chris is so upset, and has tears in his eyes, or we hear the calls where, somebody is talking about suicide, foreclosing on their home.
All the time.
Their car is getting repoed.
All
They
the time.
can't put food on their table for their kids.
Yeah.
We've gone through things ourselves in our real life, so we understand and we feel for you, and this is why we do what we do. So please understand, that's why we do what we do.
And then I'm going to get in. I'm going to teach about the 16, the 17, and deny claims. But I'm going to say this. There are some people out there that may not want us to be doing this, management especially, that don't want this to happen. But there's this for sure. My entire life, I knew one day I was going to be the best in the world at something. I just didn't know it was going to be this. And I can't be the best at this and not do what I do. So
Yeah.
You can want me to quit. But again, you know what my dad says about wanting?
What?
Want in one hand and something in the other.
Oh, again.
Anyways, the point I'm making is I'm the best there is at this, and I'm going to just keep teaching it. That's how that goes. So keep coming back. Tell your friends. Don't be threatened. You can't be fired. You can't be sued. Just keep it real. Don't file false or fraudulent claims, and everything's going to be okay. So with that said, I'm going to get into CA16s and 17s, and there's probably questions already coming in. We'll get to those. But let me do this thing, and then we'll get to the questions afterwards. So let's start with CA16s. I know you wanted to start with denied claims.
Okay, no, that's fine.
But if I don't get to anything else, the 16 is the most important. Let me tell you why. Because, as I've said before, a CA16 pays all of your medical bills for the first 60 days on a CA1 injury.
You have to repeat that slowly.
Yeah. On a CA1 injury, which is an injury that happens in a single shift.
CA1 only.
You have to report your injuries right away, immediately, now, today. Don't pause, just make it happen now. If you delay more than 7 days, you're no longer eligible for a CA16. Okay, and as I said, a CA16 pays all of your medical bills on a work injury for the first 60 days after the injury. But if you wait 7 days, you're not eligible, so you can't have that benefit. Here's what happens. People don't get it because they don't know about it. Their supervisors delay. They delay. Time passes, and now you're not eligible. Time passes, your supervisor delays, and now 7 days passes, and either way, the time's up. And so you don't have any way to pay your bills because your claim's not accepted. And so you're having to use your health insurance. We had somebody the other day, another horror story, that said to an injured person, just use your health insurance, and later on, if you don't tell them it's a work injury, and in fact say it's not a work injury, you'll never get accepted. You'll never get your bills paid, ever. It's on you. And then they're going to say, what else did you lie about? So that was terrible advice, but that's the stuff that happens from management, and that's why we do this. So a CA-16 pays your bills on a CA-1 claim for the first 60 days, as long as you report within 7 days. You must report immediately. Some of you can be written up for not reporting immediately. And then when you do report, they want to write you up for that. So it's the rock and the hard place. So the best thing you can do is follow the rules. And the rules say report as soon as possible. But I say report now, right away. And in that moment, request a CA-16. Now request CA-16. If you go in and get on Twitter, at Fed Injury Center, you can see the actual code of federal regulations that says that they have to give it to you within 4 hours of your request, or 4 hours of the claimed injury. So if you report right away, it's 4 hours from right now. You need this form. Here's what happens if you don't have it. You can't pay your bills, your medical bills, and you start making decisions on your health based on money. And most people, if they have to make decisions on their health based on money, they make bad decisions. They put off being, treated, or they won't go to the doctor at all, or they'll just go back to work even though they shouldn't, and it'll get worse because the job is not easier tomorrow after you're hurt today. In fact, it's harder because you're hurt. And so you start making health decisions based on money. That's not fair. Right. And if you have a CA-16, you don't have that problem. So even though for the first 60 days your claim's not accepted, and maybe it never will be, you at least get those 60 days paid for. And most people can get better in that period of time. So you got to get a CA-16. Never accept no for an answer. Ever, ever. It's your right to have it. If they won't give it to you, then raise hell.
And get it in writing why they won't give it to you.
Yeah.
Like, this is ridiculous when you're sitting there doing and filling out your CA-1, and a lot of you message me and call me. I say, get a CA-1, get a CA-16, and a CA-17. Do it right there with them. Don't let them argue with you. Don't leave until they give it to you.
That's right.
Stand up for yourself and don't let them push you
With
around.
That said, don't get yourself hauled out of the office.
Well, yeah.
Okay, have some restraint. But know your rights. And if you can show the rules because you have Twitter and you can pull it up because it's there, I'm telling you it's there, I put it there, then you can say you're violating the law. And a lot of people don't want to violate the law. They realize, oh, shoot, I better follow the law. And so it's a good defense of, for you, it's a good offense as well when you can just, I'm holding a phone. This is a phone. You can just say, look, this is the law. And this is what it says. You have 4 hours to give it to me, and you're on the clock, buddy.
So when you get your CA-1, immediately get your CA-16.
Right away, at the same time. Just get it right now.
You have 7 days, but 4 hours.
And if they say, I don't know how to find one of those, go to federalinjurycenters.com. Go to the OWCP Forms tab and click the CA-16 because the APWU was good enough to post a PDF of it online, and I have it for you.
Yeah.
So thank you, APWU, for posting it. Nobody else did. We really appreciate you putting that out there so that we can help your members and other members of other agencies, other unions, that is, and agencies. So thank you for that. But if you go to federalinjurycenters.com, you can print a CA-16 and get yourself started. But your agency should have copies of these things or be able to access it because it's the law. All right, so that's the CA-16. We're going to hold all the questions for the end.
Wait, I just want to say a huge shout out to Mr. Everett Kelly.
Hey! Is he on?
I think that was him that was on. Then he probably had to go. I just want to say Mr. Kelly is the acting AFGE president that we're very, very close with. And
very proud of. And he is maybe the best man that you'll ever meet. Maybe the best person you'll ever meet. I'm not just saying that. I once asked Mr. Kelly, how does it feel to be the most loved person in the room?
He is.
I want to be that guy.
I remember meeting
Mr.
Kelly when he was MVP for what district are we in? 5? In Alabama, and I was so intimidated. And come to find out, Mr. Kelly is one of the, like Chris said, one of the most loved men as a union and a acting president for AFGE, and we can't wait to see you soon. I know you said you're coming to Florida, or we may be coming to DC to see you and have a sit down and just chat and have a good time. You guys have to understand that a lot of these presidents, national presidents, especially Mr. Kelly, we are very good, close friends with him, and we just treat him just like a regular person.
Which doesn't mean anything, by the way. It's
Yeah.
not that that's an endorsement
No.
on us or anything. It's just
We just really love him.
look at my eyes.
I know.
I
We
genuinely
love Mr.
I think
Everett
about
Kelly.
it, my eyes tear up. I genuinely love him.
So when you guys see
congratulations to you, Mr. Kelly.
When you guys see us having pictures, he loves taking pictures with his cute little bow ties.
And you got to get dressed up to get in a picture with him.
Yeah, I know.
Anyways,
So,
let's
let's move on. A lot of you have
congratulations.
questions, and
well, we're gonna get to questions second.
Yeah, I'm telling
I'm
you.
glad you.
So
said
CA16,
that, though.
take note, rewatch this if you have to, and listen to what Chris said. It's how to get a CA16.
Yeah. So now I want to talk about 17s. CA17 is called a duty status report, and this is what your doctor needs to give you work restrictions, take you off restrictions, take you off of work, send you back to work. It's how they, it's how they know how to gauge your job and how to communicate that to the supervisor. And so you're required to get that from management, who has to fill out side A, and then you bring it to your doctor, they fill out side B, and then it goes back to management. So the doctor can communicate what your work restrictions are, if you have any. And but a lot of times, management won't give you the 17. Or they'll say your case isn't accepted, so you don't get one. And it's hard to argue it. The right thing to do, really, is for them to give it to you, because the doctor needs to be able to communicate things to management. And so if they won't give it to you, go to federalinjurycenters.com and print one at the OWCP Forms tab. Print it, take it to the doctor, and the doctor, just like the claims examiner, by the way, is going to say, why isn't side A filled out? You need to take a Sharpie or ask your doctor to, whatever. And this is not, I used to teach it in a way that made it sound like I was trying to threaten management. This is not a threat.
It's not.
You have to tell the truth at all times. No matter what, you must tell the truth. And so that somebody's going to say, why do you have this blank form and you didn't get management to fill out side A prior to going to the doctor? You have to say it's because they refused. It's the answer. And so you need to take a black Sharpie and write management refused. Okay, or write the manager's name, refused. Whatever. Because you need to be able to communicate. You didn't just go off and grab a form. You tried to follow the rules. And when management wouldn't help you, you've got to tell the truth. This question's going to get asked. Why isn't side A filled out? At least your doctor's going to. And so you need to be able to say that, management refused to fill it out. But hopefully that doesn't happen. We see it all the time, but we're hoping it less and less we see it. So you get the form, have the doctor fill it out, take it back. Okay, and that's how they determine work restrictions or limited duty. But if they won't give it to you and you don't feel comfortable doing that, you can go to our website as well and get a form OWCP 5C. OWCP 5C. They're all at federalinjurycenters.com. Take that to the doctor, have him fill that out. I say him or her, okay, obviously. Fill that out, and then take that back to management. At least they have some record of what your doctor says. This is the best thing for you. You've got to have these forms on file so that if you can't do the job, management knows why. Now, the CA-17 protects your job.
Yes.
If you have an accepted claim and a CA-17 signed by your medical doctor, you can't be fired for being off of work. If you don't have these things, you need to get FMLA documentation. So get FMLA forms, take that to your doctor, have that filled out. Because if you're out of work, Family Medical Leave Act protects you.
Yep.
So, as I understand it, a doctor can take you off of work half days, or can take you off of work 3 days a week, or can do any number of things, but that FMLA paperwork will protect you. So get that and be sure you're protected. And while we're talking about taking time off of work, be sure you're calling in to the hotline and letting them know you're going to be off of work. Don't just take off of work. Even if they saw you break your leg and it's understood you can't carry mail, call in, okay? We've seen people whose jobs weren't protected because they didn't make that phone call. That's unacceptable. We're here to protect your job. So do that. And then be sure you follow all the rules, fill out your forms and do it on time and report immediately and go straight to the doctor and get your 17. Do all the things. If you follow the rules, your job's protected. And people are scared of this. They're always fearful of getting fired for being hurt at work. You can't be fired for being hurt at work. But if you will follow all these rules and protect yourself by calling in, doing FMLA, getting a 17, and turning it all back in and following your doctor's orders, you're in pretty good shape. So, last topic. And then,
wait. Before we begin that topic, there's two that it's not going to take that long that I wanted to talk about. CA7s. A lot of you have been messaging me about your CA7s. You cannot file a CA7 until your claim is accepted.
correct.
You will not get your mileage reimbursement.
On a
You will-
915.
Yeah, the OWCP
Or 957.
957. And you cannot file a CA7. Now you can collect all of it and fill it out and
Start
get
documenting.
ready.
Yeah, start documenting.
You can definitely do that. So for the OWCP 957, you get 100 miles round trip, because somebody asked me that and I told you to watch Facebook. So it's only 100 miles unless you talk to the claims examiner and get pre-authorization.
Right.
And so
Get pre-approval for anything over 100 miles.
yeah.
But what people don't understand, and it's right there on the 957 form, OWCP 957, all at federalinjurycenters.com, just for your convenience. Just go there and get the forms and then leave. It's no big deal. Just go get the forms.
Yeah.
But it says on there you can be reimbursed for hotel stays, for cab fares. It doesn't specifically say Uber and Lyft, but I think the form was probably made before Uber and Lyft were out there. But you can be reimbursed for these things. Airfare, if you have prior approval or prior authorization, pre-authorization from the claims examiner.
Yes.
So some of you are asking, can I go across state borders, state lines to see a doctor? Yes, you can. You can. If you'd like to be paid for your transportation and your travel expenses, call in advance and request it. Don't just turn it in and then get mad when they don't pay you.
Right.
They're not going to pay you if you don't ask in advance. The exception to that is any trip inside of 100 miles round trip, 100 or less round trip, they'll just pay you because that's the rules, as long as your claim's accepted. So she made a great point. A claim not accepted is benefits not approved.
Yeah, because there's a few of you that asked me this week.
And they're mad, like, oh, I'm not getting paid. I'm so angry at the doctor or whoever.
Yeah.
Or the claims examiner.
Yeah, you told me you filed your CA7s and you wind up not getting paid. And my next question to you, a lot of you, is always, was your claim accepted? And then you come back, no.
Or I don't know.
You can't, number one, wait or call the claims examiner and just, harass them if your claim's been accepted.
Call every day and be very sweet and nice and ask every day. Don't harass them.
And we always tell you, it could take anywhere from 4 weeks to 6 months to get your claim accepted. I apologize. It's not our fault.
Yeah.
And this is why we tell you to call your claims examiner. So once a doctor writes his narrative, give it a couple weeks before you start calling, because it has to go through the process in the system.
Yeah, that's right.
So, do that. And again, don't file a CA7 and OW957.
OWCP.
What did I say?
OW.
OWP?
We're just abbreviating.
Everything.
So we're going to abbreviate abbreviations for the rest of the show. OWs and Cs.
And another thing.
Actually, I abbreviate all the time. I say 17 instead of CA17 and 16. I say 915s and 957s. Those letters, they're just in the way.
When your claim has been closed, it can get reopened.
Oh, yeah, we do it all the time.
So, according to what I was taught by somebody.
The greatest teacher of OW of all time.
Yes, it's true. He
of
is.
OW.
Of OWP.
And now we're not even
if
using the
your
C.
claim doesn't exceed over $1,500, it will be closed.
But it'll automatically reopen when medical bills hit and exceed $1,500. Don't worry.
Yeah.
Happens all the time.
If you're not going for your treatment to whatever doctor, then the bills don't come to $1,500.
Or if your doctor doesn't order more treatment, and maybe you don't need it. Okay, look, I don't know what treatment you need. If the doctor says you're done, you're done. If it doesn't hit $1,500, it closes, and that's the deal. But if you need more treatment, you don't follow the doctor's orders, and it never hits $1,500, then your claim's getting closed.
Yeah.
So follow doctor's orders, whatever they are.
So Rick, I hope that answered your question. Because you said, you said, can you discuss short-term closure and the $1,500 limit? So that was your answer.
All right, so that was a bonus. That was
then,
a question before I'm finished. We're going to wait because I'm going to finish because there's a ton of questions. So I got to get to the last topic. Then we're going to get to the questions. The last topic is, what do you do about denied claims? And this is so important. I just don't want to miss it. I could do it next week, but I'm going to do it now.
We have time.
Okay. So denied claims are like a fact of life. Statistically, when you take all agencies, all federal agencies, not Walmart, subway, all federal agencies. You take all employees who are employed by those federal agencies, and then you take all the people who had an accepted claim. In 2019, statistically, based on those numbers, 1 out of every 19 employed federal employees had an accepted claim. Sorry, 1 out of 15. 1 out of 15. 19's a thing too, but not for everybody. And so 1 out of 15 employed people had an accepted claim. I had somebody the other day saying, well, I disagree with the numbers because it's kind of fuzzy math. No, that's not what they said, but I like the word fuzzy math. Because there's really no way to know how many were actually injured. I agree. I don't know that number either. However, through talking to tens of thousands of people a year, it is your opinion, not mine. It is your opinion that at least 50% of people have injuries. It's not my opinion. It's your opinion. So if 50 people are hurt, then out of 15, that's 7 or 8 people. Okay? And I'm telling you statistically, factually, 1 out of 15 has an accepted claim. So 1 out of 15 are accepted, 7 out of 15 are hurt. So there's a big gap. Okay? Only 1 out of those 7 have an accepted claim. That's where I get my numbers. It is kind of funny math. I wish I had all the numbers. The government could do a better job of reporting their stats. But instead, I'm just going to do what I do, and I'm going to survey everywhere I go. So, 1 out of 15 people. That's a lot. The gap is a lot. There's a lot of people without accepted claims. You know, some of the agencies are better. The post office has better statistics than the VA. The VA is 1 out of 19 or 1 out of 20 people has an accepted claim. The post office last year was 1 out of 4. That's spectacular. That's awesome. That means half of every injured person has a denied claim. So is that awesome? Even at the post office, 50% of hurt people don't get their claim accepted for lots of reasons, okay? Not just because of denials. You know, if you go to a Social Security office, 1 out of 64 people has an accepted claim. If you go to any base, okay, people that build the equipment that our warfighters use, they're 1 out of 30-something people, okay, has an accepted claim. Terrible, terrible statistics. And if you see the work they do, that's heavy equipment. They're getting hurt. So this stuff is happening. There are far more injured people than there are accepted claims. Nobody argues that. What do you do when your claim is denied? Okay. Well, number 1, you don't throw your hands up and give up. Ever. Never just say, well, it's denied. That's what they said would happen. And so I'm just stuck with it. I'm going to go back to work hurt, and I'm just going to get over it. That's the wrong answer. Never quit. Ever. You've been seeing me. If you follow this page, you've heard me say or seen me say, now you're going to hear it, that injuries may be inevitable, but losing is not. Right? You can win. We know doctors all across, the middle of the country to the East Coast that have 90% something acceptance rates. Okay? Massive winning. Huge winning. Okay? Losing is not an option. Failure is not an option. You get a denial, you fix it. So what do you do if you get a denial? You fix it. Don't give up. Every denial comes with 2 things that are very valuable to you. I'm not sure what that first word was going to be, but my dad might not have been proud of me. They're very valuable. 2 things. Number 1, you get a letter that explains the denial. And number 2, you get a form called an appeal request form. We hear people all the time tell, with the greatest of intentions, people on our page, they're suggesting, just appeal, appeal, appeal. Stop saying that, okay? Say this. Say, reconsider, reconsider, reconsider.
File a reconsideration.
That's what you do. You reconsider. So don't elect oral hearing, don't elect review of the written record, and don't elect ECAB. They're a waste of time or delays at best. You need to request reconsideration. On a reconsideration, you have 12 months to appeal from the denial date. 12 months. And this is overwhelming. It's hard. Some doctors are resistant to what you have to do next. 12 months is helpful to you. The rest of them don't have that kind of window. On a reconsideration, you can also submit new information with 12-month lag time. New information is derived by taking that denial letter, finding out why they said it was denied, giving that to the doctor, and saying, Doc, write me a new letter. write a new narrative, respond to this. That response is new information that they will consider in a reconsideration. So it's not over. If you get a denial, it's like, that's a good starting point. It's not okay to be denied, but it's not the end of the world.
Correct.
So take your denial letter, give it to the doctor, select reconsideration, send in your own statement.
Oh, and also answer the questions on the back or the other
Thank you.
form.
That's really good. Yeah, so the
for
letter,
the denial.
Yeah, the letter comes with questions to you. Answer those questions. That's your statement. So answer those questions and send that in. E-comp it. Okay? OWCP E-comp. Google that. OWCP E-comp. E-C-O-M-P. Click on the E-comp link, and you can upload your own stuff from your computer at home. So write your own statement, which is answering those questions. Send in that with your appeal request form, selecting reconsideration. Send that in. Then take the letter to your doctor. Say, Doc, respond to this. That response goes through E-comp as well, and the claims examiner has to consider this new information. Oftentimes, we get denials. Everybody gets denials. Okay, what did I tell you? 1 out of 15 people has an accepted claim. That means denials happen. We get them all the time, but we respond to them and fix them. We've had patients that came to us for the very first time, and they already had denials 4 times before they ever met us for the first time. And we responded to it and got it accepted. All the doctors I've ever trained around the country are trained to read the denial letters and reply and get them accepted. It happens all the time, okay? Sometimes we get denials, and then we get acceptances because 9 out of 10 do. So that's what you do with the denial. Reconsideration, give the letter to the doctor, you write your statement, doctor writes his letter or her letter, and it all goes back in to OWCP through E-comp. And then you wait, and you wait, and you call the claims examiner when you get tired of waiting, and you ask what's going on, what's the decision, and you call every day if that's what it takes. Be polite, be respectful, but make the phone call. That's how you handle denials.
The end of denials. Okay, so I wanted to go over 2 quick things. Number 1, if you cannot find a doctor in your state and you have an OWCP injury, number 1, it's going to suck for me to tell you this. You can either wait for us because we're franchising.
And we're doing some other things too. We're definitely working on your problem.
Yeah, nationwide.
Yeah.
And number 2, call me or Jennifer or Derek, and either you can drive or fly just to try to get your claim accepted. Let the doctor help you with the narrative.
But are you making a referral?
No.
No, we don't make referrals. We respond to your problems.
Yeah.
If you have a problem, we'll try to solve it. If you don't like our solution, no problem. No hard feelings, whatever.
Yeah.
But we do know people who know how to get this done. I'm going to go ahead and... She's going to start asking the questions, and we're going to answer them. Let me just say this just because you just said it.
Okay.
Hold on. So, we are franchising. It is a couple of months away before we can legally roll it out. It doesn't mean I can't talk to you about it now. We have decided to do it, and if I decide to do it, it's going to happen.
Yep.
That's how it always has been for me. We're doing this. So this means that we're making it easier for doctors to say yes. I talked to a doctor in St. Louis today and gave them their, right now, 3 options on how to come on board, and they loved the idea. This is a no-brainer. We feel like we're going to multiply the number of doctors, maybe exponentially. So we're excited to be able to bring you doctors all over the country in a format that's easy for them to say yes to, and with a training module that makes them experts like we are. I know it's hard to believe that's possible, but I put everything I've got inside of my head onto this thing so that I can teach it to other people in a way that they understand it. So that's happening. We've also got a search portal, a provider search portal that makes ACS, and it takes it from 4 or 5 screens to get a search to 1 screen with 3 questions. And you answer the 3 questions and hit submit, and you get a search result. Now, the result for a while is going to be nothing. But that's the way it is at ACS anyways. They give you like this false list of 11 pages long of doctors that say no. We're going to have a list, and I don't care how many doctors are on it or how many pages are on the list. They're going to all say yes, or you don't get on my list. The first doctor that says no gets kicked out. Okay, we're not having that. From now on, you call a doctor, the doctor says yes, and you don't have to be a Federal Injury Center's doctor to be in the list. You just have to be willing to help. So we're working on that, okay? And she has been spearheading this app that we've had a problem with being able to create an account. I think if you are an Android user, you should go back and check. I think you should be able to create your account now. And we'll know it because the numbers of users will go up. We'll be linking that search tool to the app shortly. So we're doing some things to make it easier for you to find a doctor, and we're doing some things to make it easier for doctors to find you.
Yeah, and then that way you don't have a problem there. We're hoping to put, in each state, maybe 4 OWCP doctors that we train by doing the franchise. So
doing the math, that's 200 doctors. We're working on it.
Yeah, so we are trying, and I know it's going to take some time, but we got to get these doctors on board, vetted by us, and
we have a whole team of people that are doing this. So you wouldn't believe the army of people we have behind us that are right now working to find doctors for you. So we're excited. Anyways, slipped it in. That's the way it goes. Let's get some questions.
Kim, no, we are not talking about doctors that are in big groups, but if you have a doctor that want to give me his name and number, go ahead and message me.
I'll train anybody. There's nobody I won't train.
Yeah.
If they're willing, I'm in.
Yeah, if there's an independent doctor that wants to learn DOL and who is willing to see hundreds of you and have the patience
for free
and care to fill out your paperwork and not get frustrated, then we definitely, this is one of the things I know Chris is saying, that he tells the doctors, the paperwork is timely. You may be sitting with a patient for an hour and 45 minutes. Our Clearwater office sits with new patients for 4 hours.
That's the way that goes.
And that's why we have such a great success rate.
The guys today were really nice, genuinely nice guys. I really liked them, and I hope they decide to come on. We talked a little bit about money, and then I stopped them and said, that's enough of that. You're going to make all the money you want to make. The question is, can you treat the people the way I would?
Right.
I need doctors to love you the way I do. Because to me, that's the best formula, and that's what we're looking for. So if you know anybody like that, I'd love to work with them.
Yeah, send any of you
Definitely.
in any state, any city that feels your doctor wants to be a part of the team by franchising, and they would understand what it means to franchise. Message me privately, their name and number, and we will give it to our team to move forward with that.
You can go anywhere to get screwed over. You've proven that. You prove it to me every day because I hear your stories. It's not going to be with us.
And if it is, we are going to be on them despite that it is.
Somebody asked me later what NFL means because it's not football. All right,
so
NFL.
Wait, one more thing. I know there was 4 of you that reached out to me regarding telemedicine and doctors, and all of a sudden your claim was accepted. Every single one of you had an accepted claim, and now DOL has said because the doctor did certain things through telehealth that your case now is just pending until the doctor decides to come to the office. So we don't know, or at least we don't know of any rules that it says that
you want me to take this?
Can't.
Yeah, so people high up in OWCP have said that telehealth is legit. Medicare pays telehealth. Most private insurances pay telehealth. I know doctors that have used telehealth and they get paid for their services. That's a clue if doctors are getting paid for telehealth. Okay, alongside of that, there are no rules that specifically prohibit telehealth. So, however, there are, because I read everything, the telemedicine national groups say that there are rules doctors have to follow when providing telehealth services. So we definitely got to do that. But I haven't been able to find anything through OWCP that specifically prohibits the use of telemedicine. And while I did not hear this firsthand, I heard it from a very, very reliable source that someone very high up in OWCP has endorsed in some way telehealth. So I'm not really sure what the hell is going on here. It could just be one more way that they take an ambiguous set of undefined rules and use them against us. Welcome to the government. So we're working on it. But in the meantime, I think anybody that's doing telehealth should look at their internal principles or internal processes and say, how can we do that better so your denials stop? I haven't yet found anything that would prohibit telehealth, yet these denials are happening.
Yeah, so
it's the most ambiguous thing I've ever said. I hate it. I didn't like anything I just told you, but this is what there is right now.
We are going to reach out to some attorneys and find out what's really going on, because the attorney we talk that we discuss these things with pretty much knows if it's true or false.
And imagine if they'd let you use it, and you could have a doctor. Let's say there's a doctor in like this one state, but that doctor was licensed in that state and the 4 surrounding states licensed there, and that doctor, because nobody else wants to help, could help in all 5 states. If that one doctor could help in all 5 states, and that one doctor could get all of your claims accepted, would they maybe have a motivation to prevent that? Maybe, but it would be great for you. So we're going to work on it. We think it's actually good, and that it should be something that we can use. Mental health practices use it all the time. I saw it firsthand at a really first-class place in California. I've seen telehealth used in so many ways that in some cases save patients' lives. So we think it should be used, but I don't make the rules.
Yeah, with the NALC in their app, there's a new set of...
Well, this is new.
Yeah, it's new with telehealth doctors. Like, that's for, like,
not for
visits.
workers' comp.
Yeah.
I mean, but still, I mean, telemedicine is not new. It's been going on since, like, the internet.
A lot more doctors are going to be going down that path as far as telehealth goes. So,
but we can't give you any intelligent information.
Yeah.
We don't have any factual knowledge on it. We don't write the rules. We report what we know, and you just heard it. So let's answer questions.
All right, and then so
for the next,
Sherry,
we're gonna go a little over tonight.
Sherry, you said you want a doctor in Dallas. We are franchising in maybe like a month or two.
We're working on a couple of places.
Yeah, that we will be franchising. One actually will be in McKinney, so it will be a Federal Injury Centers franchise in McKinney. I don't
assuming
know.
Everything goes through.
Yeah, I can't tell you if there's. I don't know because I'm not from Texas. He is how far Dallas Fort Worth is to McKinney, but that would be a really good option.
That fast. However, nothing's set in stone yet. We're working on it. We want it as much as that doctor's office wants it. Things got to fall in place. There are legal issues, and we're making sure everything works out the right way for you. So, pass the word on that we have every intention of making it happen. 100%.
Right. Let me get to these.
But it's not done yet.
Questions.
That's what I wanted to say. Look, I say that because people say, but you said. Yeah, I know. We're working on it, and it'll get here as fast as humanly possible.
Shannon said management has gone wild. They're out of control, and they think they're untouchable.
That is not a video I want to watch on TV.
Yeah, I know.
Management gone wild.
Yeah, that would be so funny.
No, I'm not watching that.
All right, Yvonne, you
it's
said...
like a Jerry Springer episode. Not watching that either.
Not Yvonne. Sorry, Yvonne. Oh. Got hit by a semi while driving Amazon. OWCP denied my claim because I took too long to heal.
What? You know what? Send us a denial letter.
Yeah.
I'd like to read that.
Oh, this is the one I responded. So do that. Yeah.
Send me a denial letter. I'll read it. I don't think it's because you took too long to heal. Let me read it, okay? If you got hit, you were in the course of duty, you should definitely be covered.
So Michelle, send Chris the denial, and if you have a narrative to go with that or anything, to Chris at federalinjurycenters.com.
There's an S on the end of centers. Chris at federalinjurycenters.com.
Why do people try to call me when we are on live?
Don't call right now. We're not answering right now.
Rolando, do you help in Puerto Rico? There are no lawyers that take OWCP, know the Postal Service. We can
help you.
It's my brother calling me. We can give you an attorney. If you message me after, we use attorney Eric Blowers.
But you may not need an attorney, so we need to know your situation.
So
usually you don't need one.
Message me, Rolando.
Yeah.
How can we get in touch with me? 877-787-OWCP.
Which is 6927.
Yeah. Tyra says, almost the same thing happened to me. They had me out for once, and their reasonable accommodation was 2 hours a day because that's all the time I could stand. Found out the next week I was being LWAP for the other 6 hours. I'm negative in the leave still, and a new year just started.
So you clock in for your time that you are there, and your time that you're off, you file LWAP, and you should then be made whole according to their rules. For the additional time that you're off of work. That's how it should be. But be sure you're with your CA7 form and your 7A when you're filing for LWAP, you're attaching doctor's visit notes, signed by the doctor, doctor's appointments, a CA17 that took you off of work, a CA20 a CA-20 filled out and signed by your doctor that explains your situation, and a doctor's narrative that specifically explains why you're off of work. Attach that to your CA-7 to get paid for those additional LWOP hours. That's complicated, so rewind and watch that again, rewind and watch that again, rewind and watch that again, and be sure you make notes of that.
Yeah. Jessica, if you can message me your number, I'm gonna have Jennifer help you with this issue with the telehealth in Alabama.
Yeah.
Okay?
And Jennifer, go ahead and post your number on there, and same for you, Derek.
Yeah, you guys keep posting your numbers over and over so they can see it.
So if you're closer to Massachusetts, call Derek. If you're closest to Texas, call Jennifer.
Yeah. Fly Mommy.
What's up, Fly Mommy?
My father recently transitioned to bedbound, so I had to leave to go check on my dad, but I was off of work to do my on-the-job injury. So I informed my nurse that I was out of town checking on my dad. I get a call saying that my doctor is wanting to drop me because I have been going to physical therapy. I reminded her what I had told her about my father. Can they close my case? The physical therapist said she doesn't want me to come back because I haven't been there since November. I don't know what to do. I'm still wearing my boot. I have decided to bring my father back home with me and let him live with me.
First of all, fill out FMLA paperwork for your time away just to be sure. It sounds like your claim's accepted. You were getting the treatment you needed, but you had to make a tough decision between your own health and your father's, which is commendable. So fill out Family Medical Leave Act paperwork, FMLA, because that is for you to take care of yourself or a family member. That at least covers you for the job part of this. And then take that to your doctor and explain the situation there. What your doctor and your physical therapist are doing is mean, and they shouldn't do that to you because, look, I can say this. I used to manage doctors' offices. That's how I got started in this world. And we would never, ever, ever treat a patient this way. So take this to that doctor and say, look, I had to make a hard decision. You need to keep treating me because I need treatment. And I'm sure that while you were gone, you were doing, home exercises on your ankle. You were probably icing it. You probably put it in a hot pool of water like a whirlpool. I'm sure that you did the best you could to keep treating yourself. Most people do. Maybe you had a TENS unit and you used that. And so you can probably show your doctor how you continue to try to treat yourself and try to help yourself get better. But that you wore your boot. I'm sure you wore your boot, which was medically prescribed. So talk to your doctor about the things that you did to try to get better while you were away, and that you couldn't help but to be away. Nobody else was going to be there for your dad but you, and it's, you took the responsibility. Then your doctor should get you restarted. If not, let me help you find a new doctor.
Yeah. Rolando said, both my knees had work-related injuries. The first knee, OWCP doesn't want to acknowledge, but it has to be as an OWCP number. It is the worst, and because of this, the right knee got injured. Yet they let me have a total knee replacement for the right knee. Now because the left knee is busted, replacement is damaged.
You got a lot of stuff going on. It's making me think of consequential injuries. It's making me think of diagnosis expansions. And those are like, if I just went on those two alone, that would be like a whole nother hour of talk. So why don't you send us a private message and let me help you privately because that's complex, but I know what to do, and I'm happy to help you.
Valerie said, if you have supplemental disability policy, does it decrease work comp?
No.
No,
you pay for that.
Yeah.
That's yours. Like, you elect it. Not everybody does, so it definitely does not reduce workers' comp.
Joanne, you said, when will you guys address schedule awards? Okay, so here, I was just telling Chris this last week. So we want to bring attorney Eric Blowers to discuss impairment rating, schedule award, and personal injury accidents. But I'm letting you guys know in advance when we do that, we're going to have to stream it on my personal page because when you have a business page like we do for Facebook for Wednesday night chats, it doesn't let you invite the next person.
Yeah.
So we are going to coordinate with attorney Eric Blowers to see. He said yes to me already. He's willing to do it. He has no problem.
And we bring him on because he's actually an expert in this in a way that I'm even not.
Yeah. So he's not too Facebook savvy, so we have to work out the kinks with
Maybe
him.
we can just fly over to him and do it in person.
Maybe we can.
Actually.
Maybe we should.
You know what? Just be prepared for that. That's actually what we're going to do. We need to go see him anyways. So we'll go and visit him in North Carolina.
Yeah.
And we'll do our Facebook Live in his office with his permission, obviously.
Yeah. So.
Or Starbucks, whatever.
He knows like every possible answer about schedule award. It would be so much easier. Yeah, you're right. If we were just there because
we're gonna
I
go
could
see
read
him.
the questions
You're
off
right.
and he could just answer it.
So look, that's going to be a treat for us because he's a great guy. It'll be great for you because you'll have us and him sitting 3 people next to each other. So it's going to be actually really great.
I'm sorry.
Look for that to come. It's
I'm
coming.
sorry I didn't say hi to you. We have somebody from the Florida Key West. Awesome.
Hey. Mike.
A lot of you were saying, yes, call your claim examiner and you never get an answer. And somebody said they even wrote to the claims examiner. I'm sorry.
That's good. Call your congressperson. If your congressperson gets involved, then the head of the OWCP district office has to get involved. How do you think that's going to go? Probably in your favor.
Kelly says, I'm an RCA. My claim was approved. I got hurt on the job, but I was told I'm only allowed to ask for 9 hours a week since my primary is 8.6.
Yeah, so I mean, you've got a contracted, route evaluation you've got to work under. So you really need to talk, especially you and your craft. Talk to your union and make sure that you're being treated fair. But that's probably right. It just probably is. You guys have different roles than the rest of them.
Mersha said, what if my private insurance paid for the medical services prior to OWCP claim was approved, which was my TRICARE? It paid for my MRI and I was seeking reimbursement, but TRICARE stated if I didn't sign a third-party liability form, they're not going to accept the payment.
I don't understand TRICARE accepting payment from OWCP. Let TRICARE and OWCP handle that.
And that's what I told you.
Don't worry about that. That's between them. That's not that you. The only thing you have to do with it is you're the patient. Let them deal with each other.
So what you need to do is call your MRI facility or wherever you went and tell them my case is accepted. Give them the file number.
Yeah, here's my claim number.
Let TRICARE, and that's what I told you. Let TRICARE and DOL fight it out. That's
right.
That's what I was responding to you.
It's not your responsibility to do what your insurance companies have whole departments set to do.
Yeah. Laura says, do you have experience with disability retirement timelines?
No, not timelines. I can tell you some generalities about disability retirement, but that's not OWCP, and I appreciate that matters to you and so many others of you. But disability in the federal world does not just mean work injuries. It could be a fishing accident or a vacation accident or a car wreck off the job, or I got burned on my stove, or infinite number of things. The only requirement is that you at that time were a federal employee.
Yeah, I know you messaged me, and I saw it right before we went live, so I will
But ask the question.
Well,
ask the question anyways.
Yeah, do you have experience with disability retirement? She wrote a long stuff, so we have to look at it.
So I'll read your question and I'll respond to it. I know quite a bit about it, but I'm sitting here as an OWCP expert and not an OPM disability expert.
Yeah. Penny says, I'm a roll carrier. My COP ends this Sunday and my claim hasn't been approved yet. On Monday, I have workers' compensation doctor appointment. How do I fill out leave slip for that? Also, I have an active dependent care FMLA. Can I use that intermittently and use sick leave? I'm unsure if we can mix LWOP, OWCP, and other sick annual leave. Thank you.
You can get a CA7A. It's called a time analysis form, and it'll show you how to break it down.
The end.
Yeah. It's actually not easy.
No, it's not.
What I just said sounded super easy, but it's not. But take a look at it. It's got an instruction sheet that goes with it. And if you need more help, give us a call or send us a Facebook message.
Yeah.
And we'll help you fill that out. No problem.
Remember, there's Jennifer, Derek, and me that can answer the questions. Fly Mommy says, if my doctor dropped me, can I get another doctor?
If your doctor dropped you and your doctor was doing a bad job, send your doctor a thank you card. And yes, you can get another doctor.
Thomas Lyman said, my hand specialist says I need surgery on my hand, arm. The DOL doctor, who is an orthopedic doctor, says no to surgery. DOL is sending me to a referee doctor who is also an orthopedic. I don't have confidence in that IME DOL doctor. thought he had my best interest in mind. Any suggestions?
Yeah, what you want to do is have your treating doctor write a narrative report explaining your situation. Also, fill out a CA-20, and I want you to take the narrative and the 20 to whatever referee doctor you're going to and ask them to be sure they read that as part of your evaluation. Because if they've got good hard evidence about what's going on with you, it's going to make it awfully hard for them to make a decision against you because they have the information. That'll make your life easier. So ask your treating doctor to do some work there and take it with you.
Maria, you want the number to Dr. Heaton in Tucson? If you can send me a private message, I will give it to you because I don't have it off the top of my head. But normally when anybody's looking for any of the doctors, you can either call me or if you go on DOL Doctor Tucson, Arizona, look for his name. What's his first name?
David Heaton.
Dr. David Heaton, and call his office and let him know you watched us and you're going over there.
Yeah, and you know what just happened is someone asked us, we don't make referrals. If you ask, I am not going to lie to you. There are a lot of doctors that know how to do this, so we'd be happy to tell you.
Julie says, I've suffered 2 OTJ injuries in the past 3 years, both exceeded $1,500 medical bills. I have reached MMI on my first injury. I haven't been able to find an IME to give me an impairment rating. My experience with OWCP has been frustrating and depressing. Yeah. Yes, we know.
Sorry about that.
Julie, message me and let me know what city and state you're in, and let me see if I could help you find a doctor in your area or somebody close that you can drive to.
Or show you how to find one.
Yeah. Kim, okay, I answered hers.
So we're going to answer 2 or 3 more. We're already over, but there's some stuff coming in here. So we're going to answer 2 or 3 more, then we're going to wrap it up, and then we'll get to your other questions as we can throughout the week.
Wayne says, any idea why I haven't received a check from OWCP 7 weeks after filing my first CA7 and CA7A?
Wayne, call your claims examiner. That's a good question, but only your claims examiner knows, so you got to call.
Catherine said, I'm in the reconsideration step. My case that you just talked about, I included an addendum from my doctor, which I hope was sufficient, explaining my shoulder injury related to my job. If this is denied again, are there any other steps?
Sure. If you get another denial, do another reconsideration and take that new denial letter to your doctor and find out why it was denied and have your doctor write a narrative explaining that one. Eventually, do enough reconsiderations that they have no more reasons to say no. So you just start over. There's no limit to the number of reconsiderations you can do. I'm glad you asked that question. I should have said it earlier.
As long as you
go again.
Do it within the deadline date.
You have 12 months to reconsider all denials. Go again.
Yeah.
Keep going again. Don't give up. If you give up, it's over.
Leanne says, I have CRPS RSD from OWCP covered injury surgery in 2010. I'm getting to the point where work is impossible. USPS. My first DOL person said it was covered like back and neck injuries forever. True or not true?
Well, you can have lifetime medical coverage, but that doesn't mean you can forever work a job you can't work. At some point, you'll have to make some decisions on that. You should discuss it with your union. If you have a lawyer, I don't know that a lawyer helps much with this, except in the case that if you need to go through federal disability retirement. But, see if there's ways they can modify your job. Oftentimes there is, and oftentimes there's not. But you're going to have to start making some decisions on whether or not you can physically do your job. I don't know if you can or can't. But medically, you should have lifetime medical benefits based on pre-authorization, which your doctor has to obtain.
All right, I'm just gonna finish up here, and then we'll answer just some long ones. If I am not returning your calls, I am sending them to Jennifer and Derek, and we're gonna answer it that way. If not, email me or Chris. Go ahead and email Chris at chris@federalinjurycenters.com. Normally he's up at like 8 o'clock, and he kind of goes through, or 6, like again, probably tomorrow. Yeah. And he'll answer the questions for you, Dorothy. Yeah. And I'll go ahead and check the messages, but all my calls are almost caught up.
Sometimes it takes me a little while to get to the emails, so please don't be frustrated. What I do is I leave things unread in my inbox until I get to it, so it never gets forgotten. Because too many times, there's so many of you and one of me, too many times I've read one and then did something else, and it got buried in my inbox. If you feel like you sent something that might have gotten buried in my inbox, send it again.
Yeah.
Send it again and again. Treat me like a claims examiner because I care and I really want to help. So it's not a problem for me. I want to help you. So just keep coming again. No problem.
So if you guys have me on your personal page, like my personal Facebook page, Gini Helms, you can message me on there because I typically answer those right away. Or go on our Wednesday night chats on this page, and at the top there's a part where you can ask questions in there, like you're sending a message just like on regular Facebook page. You'll get me, Jennifer, or Chris answering the questions. Yeah. So Jennifer is like on it real fast too. So I'm sorry about that.
And
there's
sometimes
four of us.
Yeah, sometimes you're gonna ask me some stuff and I want to get to you faster, so I'll ask Jennifer to call you or to email you, so that'll happen. But that's a gift to you because she is gifted at OWCP. So if she calls you or emails you, just know that's good for you. Listen, I'm going to close it up a little bit.
Wait, before you answer that, I don't like this. Sherry, you said, just got a denial letter, not enough evidence because I can't afford to pay my doctor $1,500 for a narrative. Any advice? Already had surgery on my own, need physical therapy. Sherry, please tell me where you're located so you're not getting charged for these narratives. You see this face? He just got upset. He hates that. None of you that are in the federal government, with the benefits you have, and once your claim gets accepted, and obviously you have to go to the doctor without your claim being accepted, should pay $1,500.
There's no way. If a doctor knows what they're doing, they get paid by Department of Labor. And if they're doing a bad job and they don't trust that they can get a claim accepted, then they charge you. That's a clue. Now, I have trained doctors in the past that thought they wanted to go that route. I make it loud and clear to them, that's not okay with me. We don't charge people anything. Like Federal Injury Center's offices have never taken a penny from a patient, ever, no matter what. If we do a bad job, we don't get paid, and that's what we get. But us not getting paid is nothing compared to you not getting your benefits. So it's in our interest to get you the help you need to get your benefits. If someone charges you $1,500, I would ask, so what? You don't trust your own, that you can do the right job? Go someplace else. Go someplace else. I'm sorry. You shouldn't be charged $1 to do this job, not to write a narrative.
Yeah, and those of you that need doctors, contact us at any time. And again, we are franchising. We are coming soon to you. I know if you need to message me on the Facebook app on Wednesday night OWCP chats, or if you have me as your personal friend.
Which many of you do.
Yeah.
Thank you. And we'd like more. And
those of you that are trying to do your promoting for other doctors on our page, you need to not do that.
Yeah, don't do that. Let me explain why. Look, she's just rough. Look. Don't promote other doctors that I don't know on our page for only one reason. Okay? It's not a competitive thing. It's nothing like that. And I am highly competitive. It's because I don't know who they are. I don't know if they know their thing. Your claim might have gotten accepted, but you don't know if the last 100 didn't. And so I only talk about doctors that I know for sure have a 90% plus acceptance rate. You put a doctor on here that has a 10% acceptance rate, then you're hosing 9 out of 10 people. So anybody that posts that, just know I'm not approving of any doctor I never heard of. I'm not endorsing. If you see a doctor's name on here, that's not an indication that they're endorsed by me. I appreciate that people here want to help their coworkers. I appreciate that. But you don't know what their overall outcomes are. That's important to me. My overall outcomes are 9 out of 10. Okay? And I'm frustrated it's not 10 out of 10. But I haven't vetted your doctors any more than you've vetted mine, okay? But I know how to vet a doctor. You don't. Your people don't. I do. And I want doctors that are winners. So I'm happy to talk to your doctors. If you want to post your doctors, please post them as a private message to me. And I would be more than glad to get them trained so they can be posted here. Because trained doctors are winners, and they get 9 out of 10 plus claims accepted. So that matters to me. Not trying to be mean to you. I love you just as much as before. But this is a big deal to me. I'm trying to prevent losing. Injuries may be inevitable, but losing is not.
Yeah, we work hard at what we're doing here for you guys and to vet the doctors that we post and tell you guys about, not as a referral, because they've been trained by us and they know what they're doing. And
it's the only way I can guarantee they know how to do their job.
Their success rate on getting narratives accepted is 90% and above. I mean, every single doctor that Chris has trained, we've never had a complaint. At sometimes they get denials, which is common and okay.
But we fix them with reconsideration.
We fix them. So we can't vet doctors that you guys post on here that are going to get the job done. We are coming to Texas. We are coming to all 50 states times 4 or 10 doctors there.
Whoever wants it.
So the last person that did this, I had to ban them from our page because they were promoting their business on our page. So we don't accept stuff like that. Contact us privately and we could talk to you privately about
And we
your
want
doctors.
to. Like, I desperately want more doctors that want to help you. But nobody gets through me without going through me. They got to be trained. It's important. Those of you that went to Terry Toll in Indiana, you know how important the training was. And if you went to, Tony Patron in Chicago, you know how important the training was. And if you've been to Guidati in Boston, you know how important the training was. If you've been to Cameraman in Florida, you know how important the training was. This is important. The training is so critical. And anyways, that's it. I'm going to get off of it. We love you. We're not mad at you. But when you post those doctors, you're potentially putting people at risk of denied claims, and that's not what I'm about.
Yeah, and you have to remember, it's not only the doctors that are getting trained by us, it's the therapist, it's the front desk, it's everybody.
Yeah.
So they're all on the same page.
Now, you're all in this together as well, so if any of you wants to private message someone else and tell them the doctor, I'm fine with that too. Everyone has the right to choose their own doctor. I'm all for that right. I love that right. I'll tell you how to find a doctor, even if it's not us. Just, do us a favor. Don't put your doctors here.
And
all right, let's move on from there.
And tonight, again, a lot of you, all of a sudden, I see that you've been getting charged by doctors. You're not. No, not the $200, not the $500 up front to see them. $0. I'm telling you this. If they understand DOL and they are caring about you, they aren't going to charge you a dime from the minute you walk in the door. Our doctors sometimes don't get a CA-16. They still see you.
Often don't. In federal injury centers, so what we're doing, I don't want to go too long. People are going to get bored, but we have a policy manual, right? And one of the policies is we don't take money from patients. It's not we don't take money from patients unless this. We don't take money from patients. And that's what you should expect from your doctor. Let's move on.
And with that said, thank you for the sweet comments. You guys are great.
Yeah, you are. We love you. We genuinely love you. We love you.
Go on the Wednesday night OWCP chats page that you're on right now. And up above is a little message. You can message us there.
Yeah.
And some of you are posting. It's Gini Helms, SOROGINI, 1 N. Helms, HELMS, that's my personal one. Add me and you could also message me through there. And same thing with Chris Helms, you can message him, but we'll get it because Jennifer and Derek and Chris and I have access to the Wednesday night OWCP chats message and it pops up on his phone all day.
All day. This is what we do all day. It's fine. I got up this morning. I took a drive.
Fly Mommy said no, Chris, keep talking.
All right. Well, I'm going to say this. Thank you. I took a drive. And actually, it was yesterday morning. Facts matter. I like to be truthful. It was yesterday, not today. But I woke up before everyone else. I took a drive, and I parked the Jeep out by the water. I had every intention of posting a live video at like 7:30 in the morning, 8 a.m. I just woke up with this wrench in my gut. And from some stuff that happened previously, that made me think, gosh, you guys are not getting the help you need. And you're not getting the help you need from people that need to be giving you the help. It hurt me. I literally sat there and said, I'm too fired up. I better not post a video now. Because I was pretty angry. And it was early in the morning to be angry. But you're not getting the help you need. Okay? You're not getting, the CA-16s and you're asking for someone to come help you get your CA-16 and it's not happening. And, you come right out of the gates and you're not, you're making health decisions on money. And, it's your right to not have to make that decision. And then, you want to go to work because I talk to all the federal employees who say, benefits are great. I want to make it to retirement. who's been here more than 20 years. Everybody raises their hand. And but you can't make it to work tomorrow because you're worried you can't make it through 8 hours of a day because you got hurt. And you can't get a CA-17, so your job's not protected. And your supervisor won't give it to you, or whatever. And so you're getting told all these things that are preventing you from reporting an injury, filling out forms, going to the doctor, getting your time paid for. Nobody's rent is free. Groceries don't just give food away, the grocery stores. And so, you start right out of the gate and with financial distress, and then you end up, and we know it because we talk to people all the time, in a bankruptcy situation. Or, you're talking to me on the phone about how to get an old claim accepted while you're packing your apartment up and wondering where you're going to move to. Or, my kid's in college and I can't. Anyways, you guys are getting hosed.
You see his eyes? He's getting...
Just, hold on. You're getting hosed.
Emotional.
And we see it every day. And, we love you. We're here to help you. So that's it. I'm going to end it there. Share this. Tell everybody that they need to be watching. We're here to help. And let's end it there.
Aw.
End it there.
He cares, guys. Anyways, we will see you guys next week. Same time, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. On our Facebook page, Wednesday night OWCP chats. Again, I told you, please share this with all your groups. For some odd reason, I can't post till after February 4th.
So you post it.
Yeah, if you can, please post it to the 162 groups that I'm on.
Or to the 100 and however many we're not. You post it.
Yeah.
Okay. We need some help. Help your coworkers.
Yeah.
Okay. Get them here so they can get this information. They need it.
And we're ending, and don't forget, today is Red for Feds. Don't forget, AFGE, support your union. With that said, we'll see you guys all tomorrow at 8 p.m.
All right.
Bye.